Hello and welcome to Faith, Hope, Love. It's your weekly podcast that talks about the Bible using teachings and stories and illustrations. And this week we are talking about the image of God. You know how there's this verse in the Bible that says that God is a spirit in John 4 verse 24. In fact, another verse says no man had at any time seen God. John 1 verse 18. But guess what? This God became visible. In Colossians 1 verse 15, Jesus was called the image of the invisible God. The image of the invisible God. So Jesus would often say, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father, because he is the image of the invisible God. In Hebrews 1 verse 3, he is called the express image of God's person. Again, he is the image of the invisible God. Question: how does that concern me? How does that concern you? You may say, well, the Bible says in 1 John 4 verse 17 that as he is, so are you, so are I, so am I beg your pardon, in this world. As he is, so are you in this world. Genesis 1 verse 26. Do you remember the verse that says, let us make man in our image? We play around it, don't we? But that's very profound. You and I are the image of God. Can you imagine going around knowing that you are the image of God? That if people were looking for what God looks like, they would point at you as the image of God? Wow. In Romans 8 verse 29, the Bible says, for whom he did foreknow, he also predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son. Well, the word conform is actually the word somorphos, that means to be similar or to be fashioned like unto. So in the original, it says, for whom he did foreknow, for just you and I, he also predestinated us to be similar to the image of his Son, or to be fashioned like unto the image of his Son. So I have the image of his Son, which is the image of God. So wherever I go, when people look at me and they look at you, they are seeing the image of God. Friends, this week, go around with a mindset, go around with a thinking, go around with a consciousness that I am the image of God. If people wanted to know what God looked like, look to David, look to you, put your name right there, because you are the image of God. Remember, as he is, so are you and I in this world. We have been fashioned unto his image. That's all I have for you this week. And until next week, remember, I go around knowing that I am the image of the invisible